In an ancient kingdom, framed by majestic mountains and fertile plains, there lived a ruler known for his impulsiveness and tendency to be overwhelmed by intense emotions. The king, with his fiery temperament, often reacted with fury, even to the most insignificant provocations, creating turmoil in the kingdom. One day, as the kingdom grappled with the challenges and tensions of daily life, a wandering monk arrived through the winding paths of the mountains. His solemn figure, wrapped in the austere simplicity of a gray robe, emanated an aura of serenity and wisdom that resonated through the winds of the realm. His presence was about to shed a new light on the fate of all those fortunate enough to meet him. The king, intrigued by this mysterious figure and eager to learn the secret of a tranquil mind, decided to invite the monk to a lavish dinner in the grand royal palace. The invitation was met with a serene smile and a respectful nod, a sign of the deep humility that characterized the monk. During the sumptuous banquet in the palace, illuminated by sparkling candles and adorned with exotic scents, an apparently insignificant event triggered a tumult that would transform the kingdom's fate. One of the royal tailors, responsible for the care of the king's garments, made a mistake while sewing a princely outfit. A momentary distraction caused a small but noticeable hole in the fabric, an imperfection that raised great concern in the royal atmosphere. The sovereign, usually dominated by his impetuous nature, felt overwhelmed by a tide of conflicting emotions. His anger flared like a blazing fire, ready to consume everything in its path. The king's gaze fell heavily on the unfortunate tailor, who, terrified, trembled at the prospect of his wrath. The monk, with his simple attire and face etched with the wrinkles of wisdom, observed the scene with compassionate eyes. His lips moved gracefully as he spoke to the king with words of wisdom and compassion. His voice, soft as the breeze caressing the mountain peaks, rose in the tense silence of the hall. "O noble sovereign," said the monk, his tone calm and measured, "do not allow a small annoyance to disturb your serenity. True power lies in mastering your emotions, in the art of transforming anger into calm and frustration into compassion." The monk's words resonated in the air like an ancient melody, touching the deepest chords of the king's heart. With each phrase, it seemed as if a veil was lifting from the king's tumultuous mind, opening the way to a deeper understanding of himself and his emotions. At that moment, the king felt as though he had been propelled on an inner journey, a quest for his inner peace. With each step, he learned to observe his emotions with detachment, to embrace them without judgment, and to understand the true meaning of emotional control. It was a tortuous and challenging path, but with each step, the king felt increasingly close to the inner peace he so desired. He learned to reflect before reacting, to consider the consequences of his actions, and to nurture the flame of compassion even in the most difficult moments. Each day, he devoted time to reflection and contemplation, delving into the depths of his own soul to better understand the subtle nuances of his emotions. Gradually, his impetuous nature, which had once dominated his being, began to give way to a calm serenity. Every moment of tranquility spent in the palace gardens, immersed in the songs of birds and the scent of delicate roses, helped to shape his new emotional awareness. The king's decisions were no longer driven by impulsiveness, but by wisdom and compassion. Every choice, every royal decree, was the result of thoughtful reflection, illuminated by the light of understanding and compassion for his people. The kingdom, once plagued by turmoil and discord, experienced an era of prosperity and harmony under the enlightened rule of the transformed sovereign. The lands once marked by conflicts and divisions flourished under his reign, as justice and solidarity blossomed like the petals of a flower in spring. The king, aware of the power of his personal experience, eventually decided to share his inner journey with the world. He gathered the wise men and scholars of the realm to share his discoveries, spreading the wisdom he had gained through years of introspection and personal growth. Through the king's words, many found comfort and inspiration on their own emotional journeys. He taught them the importance of finding emotional balance, of not being overwhelmed by passions, but of guiding them with wisdom and compassion, as he had done himself. And so, the king continued to lead his people, not only with the strength of his sword, but also with the wisdom of his heart. His story, a tale of transformation and rebirth, remained a beacon of hope for future generations, illuminating the path to a life of inner peace and shared prosperity. This story is a powerful reminder of our human ability to transform intense emotions into sources of growth and wisdom. It teaches us that we are not slaves to our emotions but can learn to master them and use them to our advantage. It invites us to explore the deep potential of our inner strength, discovering that even in the face of the most violent emotional storms, we can find a safe harbor in the calm of our inner being. The path to mastering emotions requires patience and reflection. It is a journey that invites us to explore ourselves, to deepen our understanding of our emotions and thoughts. It is a process that leads us to understand the roots of our emotional reactions, to recognize the behavioral patterns that guide our actions. Through the practice of emotional awareness, we can learn to recognize when our emotions are taking over and to take control of the situation. We can learn to make space for our emotions without allowing them to dominate us, to treat them with kindness and compassion rather than fear or anger. This awareness enables us to make more conscious and meaningful choices in our daily lives. It allows us to respond to challenges with calm and wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. It guides us in our relationships with others, allowing us to communicate more empathetically and authentically. Thus, through continued practice and commitment to personal growth, we can transform our emotions into a source of growth and wisdom. We can learn to guide our emotions rather than be guided by them, leading a more fulfilling and meaningful life not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. What do you think of this teaching? Let me know in the comments. I wish you to live in peace forever and look forward to seeing you here on the channel, The Secret of Samadhi. See you in the next video.